All right, guys, it's fight week. It's second day of fight week. It's Tuesday as of me recording this. This will probably still get uploaded today, but UFC 295. I thought about doing like a full card breakdown, but like in reality, these are the two fights that everyone really cares about right now. And I mean, obviously, they're the title fights, but they are exciting as hell. These are probably two of the best title fights we've had this year, and that's saying something. We've had some good title fights, great moments, but we're going to start with the co-main event. Now, obviously, we all know Jon Jones, he tore, I think, a pec muscle or something. I don't remember the injury specifically, but it was bad. And then, Stipe isn't going to fight with that because he's 41 and he doesn't want to fight Sergey, who was the backup fighter. He was going to be the backup fighter for 295. Tom Aspinall was coming off a win during the summer against Marcin Tybura in the previous fight against Curtis Blades. He tore his ACL. But these two are fighting for the interim title. And while, whoever wins this, shockingly, will not be fighting Jon Jones because Jon Jones is still going to fight Stipe, which, kind of makes this title kind of feel pointless. But, unlike how, Henry Cejudo was saying that this is more of a number one contender fight, I think these two are, the best guys in the division other than Jon Jones. And there's still some, competition there. Maybe they could win, but also Jon Jones is really good. Understatement, but you get my point. Now, how do I think this fight's going to go? Now, I saw everyone was fight got initially announced. Everyone's picking Sergey. Have you seen this dude? This dude's a giant freak of nature. He's built like a Ford Escort. He's like the Russian version of Ngannou. He's got, I think, the shortest fight time in UFC right now. I don't know in history, but actively highest. I know Ronda Rousey also had a high one, but he just finishes everyone, and he only has one loss in his entire career, and that was against Alistair Overeem. Now I believe this was his UFC debut because he's 6-1 in the UFC, and I think he's on a 6-fight win streak. Yes, he kind of got a bit exposed on the ground. I believe he made that fight on short notice, and veterans are crafty. And let's not act like, I know it's everyone kind of forgets that Alistair Overeem, he's not bad on the ground. I know he's a kickboxer. He had the K1 title. He fought in Glory in his last fight before retiring and all that stuff. But he had, really good guillotines. He had a good number of submissions. So it wasn't like he got exposed by a non-grappler or anything. But since then, he has just ran through everyone. Tai Tuivasa, Derek Lewis, Curtis Blades, the most recent one. Curtis Blades, that one was impressive. Now, I know Curtis Blades doesn't have a good chin, but he's doing what other people haven't been able to do to Curtis Blades, other than Ngannou and Derek Lewis. So I think I still hold that as a pretty impressive win. Now, Tom Aspinall, on the other hand, is equally dangerous. Huge finisher. He is far more well-rounded. He has a good submission game. He submitted Alexander Volkov. Cyril Gane took Alexander Volkov 5 rounds. 5 rounds. It wasn't really that super competitive that I don't remember. At the time of watching it, I don't remember it being super competitive. But he didn't finish him, and there wasn't really any real danger of Alexander Volkov getting submitted. Sorry, I'm about to confuse them. But that was crazy. He was then supposed to fight Curtis Blades, and just everything in his ACL just shredded. So you can't really look at that, but it does point one thing I gotta say: injuries. I know he's coming off of that. He took good time. He did the right thing of taking time off so he could recover. But he also has another problem. But that also means that's an injury that could reopen. But on the other hand, I think everyone's seeing this is it's such a common thing that I keep seeing in fighters from the UK and specifically England, and that is just their chin is way up. They got a karate stance thing, but they purposely kind of put their chin up there. Sorry, that's a thing you cannot afford to do with Pavlovich. But people have been switching up, picking Aspinall because Aspinall, he has all of his wins. He's never gone to the third round. He's gone to the third round, I think, in a controversial loss before the UFC. But he's a huge finisher. All wins by finish. Very impressive. Very impressively, he's very well rounded, and he's also fast. And the other thing we're saying was Pavlovich can KO anybody on their best day. But the problem is, is that Aspinall is not like these other guys. He is fast as hell. He's crazy fast. He's not one of these plodding people. Like, Curse plays as good as he can be. He plots his feet around. He just doesn't have a good chin. He's a pretty decent wrestler, but a little bit overrated. But he just kind of plots it around. Tom Aspinall moves around a lot. He moves very fast. I know people are saying like a lightweight. I'd say more like a welterweight, but like the idea still stands that he does not move around like his own weight class, which is that is something that came into consideration for me. This is 5 rounds against Sergey Pavlovich, and Pavlovich, he hits crazy hard. And I know that's something that in heavyweight everyone can do that. Everyone can get KO'd on their own day. Pavlovich gets people done in the first round. He does this crazy. He has, as I said, shortest active fight time in the UFC. And we got to realize, when people are talking about this Alistair Overeem fight, do you not think he has been working on that? Do you not think with basically 6 fights ago is when he lost that? On short notice, he was way younger. He was in his 20s. I think he's 31 now. And I also believe Tom Aspinall is as well. He's been working on that. Also, mind you, he was the backup for Jones versus Stipe. Both of them are really good grapplers. Do you think he was not training grappling for this moment? And I know everyone's like, Aspinall has 100% takedown accuracy. Yes, but he doesn't attempt that many takedowns for this to be in that crazy of a stat. Like, yes, he gets good takedowns. He has very good form. But when it's a lot different when you're fighting and Sergey is throwing hammers at you, and then it's like, oh shit, I need to take him down. And he does that, and if he's one of those people who, if the takedown doesn't look available, he's not going to go for it, I think he will get KO'd, because in the striking, technically, and by technique based, Aspinall is a lot better. But if we're going by just power and ability to finish someone, I'm going with Sergey Pavlovich. Ground game and speed, Tom Aspinall. But I'm going to go with, just based on like my feeling of this fight, and just heavyweights are known for getting finishes, unless you're like one of the really fat guys in the lower parts of it. Other than that, everybody else can get finishes or have some special thing about them that compensates for that. So I'm just going to go Pavlovich right now, and I'm just kind of risking it now just because I stand by all the things of that. I've kept the same things of that. And finally, the main event. This fight is probably it's fight of the year candidate worthy, or it could be a very fast finish. It's such an unpredictable fight because we have Jiri Prochazka, the former light heavyweight champion. He beat Glover to win the title and then had to vacate it because of a gruesome shoulder injury. This is his return fight. He's trying to reclaim the title that he chose to vacate. He's going against Alex Pereira, the former middleweight contender who's coming off a win against Jan Blachowicz at UFC. I don't remember which event of it, but it's Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje. He got a decision over Jan. But you also got to realize, this is the apprentice of Glover, the man that was beaten by Jiri. So there's already a storyline here. And I'm seeing a lot of people, like Lucas Tracy specifically, I saw in MMA Che, I believe that's how you pronounce it, are picking Jiri. So obviously I have to pick Alex, because if Lucas Tracy picks someone, you go for the opposite. That's how it works. I was going to say I'm kidding, but a little bit of me, no, just because it's going bad. But I'm going with Alex Pereira. Just because factor-wise, Alex Pereira is so giant. He's 6'4", he's a giant man. He cuts down from a weight class, which, yes, probably Jiri does so as well. But it's just different with how big this guy is. This guy is a very technical guy. He is a bit of a brawler. He's not as technical as Adesanya, which is almost kind of better for this right now. I know he got KO'd by Israel, but that was at the start of the year, and he's recovered since then. Here's the other thing. Let's not act like Jiri has a granite chin. He has a very good recovery of that, but he leaves himself open. And I'm not gonna cut it. I think he'll get KO'd. I'm gonna go 3rd round KO. And you also gotta realize this. Jiri went 5 hard rounds with Glover and was getting pieced up on the feet. And Glover, yeah, he's a pretty decent striker. And I know the grappling is what set it up, but yes, but the point still stands that he was pretty good beating him on the feet. and it was a Hail Mary submission. He was losing that fight. He had moments, as he did, but he's gotten stunned. He got dropped by Glover, who was 40. But the main thing is, Glover went 5 rounds with Jiri. He knows what this guy does in the cage, and he trains Alex Pereira. He's Alex's main coach. So, that kind of gives me a thing of that, like, if he's going to be telling Alex Pereira what he should be doing, and I think that's just going to let him find a moment to KO Jiri. And with each fight, Alex gets better, and he also knows he's 35. He needs to capitalize on this. And older people can still crack and win the title and have longer longevity in the fight game than people in lower weight classes. It's more just thing of, like, power-wise over, like, technique. But he also knows, like, he needs to win this fight because, he doesn't know how much time he'll have left in the fight game. So he needs to do it now. Jiri is, like, 31 years old, and he's coming off a horrible injury. He has been out for a year and a half, I believe. Just kind of waiting for this. So I think all the favors go to Alex Pereira right now. So I'm going to go with Alex Pereira by 3rd round KO. He's going to KO him. I think Jiri's going to have some moments. He might even stun Alex, because let's not act like Alex has a great chin either. It's a lot better now that he's not completely depleting himself to make it a middleweight. But he still gets cracked. He got KO'd by Adesanya pretty badly. And Adesanya doesn't KO a lot of people. But I'm still going to go with Alex Pereira in this fight. That's my fight. I'm super excited for these 2 fights.